Hello everyone, this is Rebecca from Papeterie de Choix, and welcome to Thorough Thursday. Today we're doing some vintage ladies. What I have here is I took a piece of 12 by 12 thick patterned craft paper, and I used half of it. This is the other half. What I did was I cut it in 3-inch strips and then cut those into 4 inches. So these cards on the back are 3 by 4. And then I printed these images off. Printed them on regular glossy photo paper. Then I put a little matte medium over them, and then I used 2 colors of acrylic paint to grunge them up and make them look a little bit more authentic and take the gloss off of the photo paper. So what we have here is underneath the lace it's attached on the sides with staples, the little mini staples, but underneath the lace is a little pocket made from a used tea bag, and I cut the tea bag in half and then folded it and then glued it just barely on the edges, and what else did I do with it? I guess that was all I did with the actual tea bag after I cleaned it out. These are very light tea bags that I used. It was ginger and chamomile tea. So each one of these little pockets has a piece of this white really thin paper. I was putting some lace on some of the bobbins I made in a project a few days ago, and I undid one and it had this paper under it, and so I've been tearing it off and using it in this project. So there's a piece of that, a piece of craft paper, and a piece of coffee dyed paper. And then each one has, I backed onto a piece of file folder. And I guess you've already noticed that each picture and then the file folder around it and the card are all cut with the same corner punch. And I've done a different one on each one. So also with if you like this idea of how I grunged these photos up, let me know in the comments and I'll do a little tutorial. So they're just I printed them, they were about a ½ inch wider, give or take a little. The height is the same. I did trim them down about a ½ inch so that they would be sure and fit inside the pocket. So I printed 6 images, and I've already prepared 2. This is the size that they were before I trimmed them. So we're going to do these 2 in today's project. So let me get my workstation set up and we'll get started. You can see here where I've been working all day today doing the other ones. So I think I'm going to try to do these at the same time. So the first thing I want to do is just see which way is up on these cards, even though technically they go from side to side, but I want them to sort of look right going up. The other thing is These are the 2 punches I'm going to use from here, but I'm going to do them the opposite way, so I want to make sure I get this right. So I want to cross with this one, so this one I need to go up and down. And I'm going to do this one up and down. So the first thing I'm going to do is punch the background card and get that part done. So again, these cards are 3x4, but of course you can, oops, I'm about to mess up. You can do these any way that you want to. Okay, so I did this with the curve up, so this needs to go this way. Alright. Okay, so let me put those back over there. The next thing I'm going to do is clean the junk off here and hope that I hit the trash can that I've now put across the room. So I'm just going to ink these edges, front and back, to just make them look a little better. I'm not doing any actual staining or anything like that. One of the reasons I chose the craft paper, this is thick, 12 by 12. I think it was a paper pad. I think it might have come from Hobby Lobby originally, but I think I might have found it in a thrift store. I've had it a while, so I'm not 100% sure. If I bought it, it's been at least 3 or more years ago. Oops, I forgot to do the back. So yeah, this is it's actually kind of a quick project, and hopefully I can live up to that. Okay, so there's those. I do need to open me up a tea bag, which I did forget to do. So I'm just going to do that real quick. This is the same flavor. And of course it's not going to cooperate with me since I'm on camera, because you know, Murphy's Law and all that. And I do have another one, I think, over there, but I don't know if it's the same flavor of tea bag. But I chose this one because it was light colored, not very much. It's like some yellow, but that's about it. Now, I can just find that little spot that it'll open. You can tell it's been a while since I drank this. I mean, I usually just let my tea bags dry out and then I'll plunk them into a drawer where I actually have a little wooden box, but yep, that's pretty dry. Okay, I'm going to dump this in the trash. Now, I would usually keep the dried tea to go into my handmade paper, but I've got so much that it'll be fine to toss what's in here. Okay, so the next thing I'm going to do is take it over to my iron and press it. So I will be right back again. Okay, so then what I do is I just clip it along that fold, and then I fold the part, the side that the tea was on, I fold that to the inside. And then just to keep it from flying around, I just put a very, very thin bead of glue along the sides and the bottom, just enough to hold it together. Now this one's going to be a little bit raggedy, but I think it'll just lend itself to whichever picture it ends up on. Okay, and then I'll turn it over, pick out the side that's the lightest colored. Okay. And get rid of all the stray tea floating around. I've got a little bit of a frog in my throat. My husband's not feeling well. He's laying on the couch, hopefully still asleep. And he told me this is a fend for yourself night. So I ate leftovers just a few minutes ago from our supper last night. Now, the man can cook, let me tell you now. He can cook. He baked chicken, put panko. Hope I'm saying that right. I mean, I can cook, but I have no interest in cooking. I never have. But anyway, so he baked it with that, and then we eat a lot of chutney, and so he topped it. Once it came out of the oven, he topped it with mango chutney, and then we put a little extra on our plate. And then just with regular garden peas with lots of butter. And that was our supper last night. So there was just a smidgen of that left in about 1.5 pieces of chicken, which is they were breasts, but they were cut in half. So really and truly, it was like not quite a whole breast of chicken. And just a handful of peas that was left. And so that was my supper about 30 minutes ago. Okay, I'm going to press this to get this glue dry, and then we'll go on to the next step. Now, it's not an issue for the purpose of this pocket that the tea bag doesn't come all the way to the edge. It's not a big deal to me, but I do want this part removed a little bit off of these little corners, but again, it don't have to be exact. I don't really like that sticking down quite that much. Okay, so now I'm going to get some lace and a couple of words to go on here. And you know, believe it or not, we're almost halfway done. Okay, so when I do flimsy lace like this, I usually give it a few spritz with the spray starch and then iron it so that it will, you know, kind of lay flat. Otherwise it's humpy, bumpy, and floppy. And I don't want it to be that way. Now, what did I do with, here it is. I love this little stapler. It ran out of staples for the first time today, and I filled it back up. It's made by the Max Corporation. It's not meant to be a craft stapler like some name brand stuff is, but it has a lifetime guarantee. It was like $15, $14.98 or something like that on Amazon, and I love it. It does the job really well, and I don't have to worry about my money going to waste. It's made in the USA, that sort of thing. So so the other thing, today I was watching, oh my goodness, what is her name? Natasha from Treasure Books, and she was doing a video about staples being the highlight of your project, and she was doing all kinds of things, but something that she did, and I actually tried it, and I've got them in here. Let's see if I can you see the staples? I colored them with a black permanent marker, and she said if you use a permanent marker, it has to be permanent, you can color the top of your staples. So I did it so that my staples would be black, even though technically it sort of looks purple, but meant to be black anyway. So so I did that, and so that's what I'm using, is staples that are colored black. And even if they look purple altogether, when they come out, they look very black. So I am very glad that I watched that video. But the one thing about this uses the number 10 staples that the old-timey stapler that I cannot think of the name of uses, and I have 2 of those, but I want to make sure that what I'm stapling is done substantially. And the other thing about this stapler that when I picked it out to use is it staples, it don't curve the staples underneath, it makes them flat. So that was a plus. So there's that, and I am going to use my pinking shears and just trim that a little bit closer. I have pinking shears for cloth, which is what these are, like craft cloth. And then I have this older set that's a little bit dull. I have these for paper. And to the right of me I have a big long, like a little 1 by 1/2 inch board with like 12 or 14 little hooks in it, and that's where I have all my scissors hung to do what I'm doing over here. Okay, so I'll quit talking, and hopefully I didn't let my glue dry up. So I'm going to put this right across through here, and give that 2 little staples. There was one on the other ones that had a wide piece of lace that I used, and it got 3 staples, but yeah, they look black to me. They're definitely not the silver. You can see the difference between the silver on this side and where I colored them on that side, so I'll be doing all of mine like that. I've got a bunch of permanent markers that I've saved to make ink from, so yep, I'll continue to do that. Thank you, Natasha at Treasure Books, for that little tip. Okay, words. That's what I need next. So, on my Google Drive, I go in and put in a piece of 60-pound or 110-pound, no, 60-pound cardstock. And I have several fonts that I use, and I have a template sheet, and I just change the font and make me 2 or 3 of those. And that's where I make my own words from. I think I'm going to use the word unique. And these I trimmed with my We Are Memory Keepers die. It has a dial on the top, and you can dial your I started to say dial your stitch, but that's not what I meant to say. Dial your cutter. I think I'm going to go with poetic here. And snip that off. Now what I do with these, where I've been dyeing some paper, I have the remnants of some coffee in here. So what I do is I just run it in here, and it'll be very, very dark. when I flip it over, like almost that you can't see it. But then I take this is tea ink, just tea and alcohol, and I spray it down a little bit. And then I'll run it through one more time. Like so. And I'm going to give it just another small squirt just to dilute it slightly. And then I'll take this over here to my iron and I'll dry it out, and then we'll ink it and stick it on. Well, I made a boo-boo. I scooted my iron and it tore off the top layer of paper on Unique. So Unique has now turned into Positive. So I guess it all applies. Oops, I didn't mean to do that. And so put that like that. Okay, now, de-dum. I had a little scrap piece of paper over here, and I was trying out different corners. So on this one, I'm going to put this girl here and this girl here, because this one's busier than that one. So, she was my poetic, and she's going to be Positive. At least that's the plan. So, now I'm putting this piece of paper under here because this glue will go right through that tea bag. But at the same time, you can't leave it too long because it'll also then glue this piece of paper through the tea bag to that piece of paper. And I found that out the hard way earlier today. And I suppose I could put a piece of like not freezer paper, parchment paper under it, but I don't have one handy at the moment. Okay, so there's that one. And this one we're going to put it a little bit sideways maybe. Or maybe tuck it up under there just a touch. But I still want it to show it a little bit. So, yeah, I might do it something like that. Okay, glue, and more glue. Yep, us crafters, we use a lot of glue. We keep the glue company in business, I think. Okay. Okay, that one's still just a tiny bit damp, but it'll be okay. Now, I went ahead and tore me a couple of these out, and I'm just going to go ahead and stuff these in there, if I can get it to go. It's really more for decoration in a sense, but it could be written on should someone want to have the time and the patience to do so. And then this. I just ripped this and it was against the grain, can you tell? It was all messed up. But I like that torn look with paper. I don't know why, but I do. I have created a new playlist on my channel as my I started doing projects around the middle of August, give or take a little, and there was some projects that I did along the way. It's like, no, I never want to do that again. That was just, you know, trying it, didn't like it, carrying on. And some of them, the next day after I made them, I would go back and make, you know, 3 or 4 more of something, because I did enjoy it. So I made a playlist of my favorite projects that I have made thus far, if anyone wants to check them out, to see if any of theirs line up the same. Okay, let's take a little bit of that. That goes that way. And this one goes this way. Let's use this ruler, make sure that my tea bag is not sticking down and gluing where it shouldn't be. Okay. Alright, so that's going there. Okay, now these are done. As far as the base part, except for when I get the picture in, then I had 6 pieces of this little short ribbon that I had tea stained and scrunched up from a project like months ago. And I thought, well, there's 6 of these pictures, let's use them somehow. So I put them, just using an old safety pin, I just tied them through the little hole at the bottom and just clipped them on, and I thought, well, it's cute on there. I didn't want to over embellish, and I don't think I over embellished. Not on this project anyway. I might over embellish in other areas. Okay. Now, let's see. So let me, what am I doing here? I need to trim these down. This one, I might have a little bit of a problem because she's pretty wide on the paper and the other ones have not, so she's going to get trimmed right to the very edge of possibility. In fact, the back of her might come off slightly because I trimmed them all down to 2 inches wide. I'm going to come out to here and just see, but that's going to make the whole thing. Okay, I'm just going to have to do it and just do it. It still looks good. Okay, and let me do this one. Usually, what I do is I pick out the side that is the nearest to whatever, like the hats and whatnot, and cut that off as long as it's above 2 inches, and then I can come back and take off the other parts. I'm going to come in a little bit closer here and then turn her around and go there. That's not too bad. Okay. Now, let's get my here and here, right? Okay, where's the punch? So the punch here is the straight part up and the curved part down. Yes. Okay, so make sure I did. Nope, they need to be switched. So this goes over here. So this goes on this one. I'll do it this way first. Okay, that's that one. And then this one was this way. Make sure that corner is in there just right, otherwise it's going to be crooked. Better move my finger out of the way or that's going to hurt. I have done that before. It's got this little lip on the side, and if you put your finger under there and press down, yeah, it grabs it. Let me do this side. This paper, it's photo paper, but it is a little bit flimsy. And so it wants to raise up and go over the little barrier that's there to keep it from going further. Okay, finally. Alright, then we ink around. I ended up cutting off part of her hat anyway. But anyway. No, I printed these off last night. I printed them in a I didn't print them in sepia, but I didn't print them in black and white. I printed them with the vintage background that they were on, just edited it a little bit and lightened it up and whatnot. But this, I printed them, I guess it was day before yesterday. Anyway, I didn't think they suited, hit my light and banged the camera. I didn't think they suited the look I was going for. I wanted them more matte, and I had already put the matte medium on, but they still weren't matte enough. I wanted to lighten them some more, so I put a little paint on them. Like I said earlier, if you want a tutorial, if you like how that looks, then they're just grungy. Like sometimes you would find an old photograph. Like a cabinet card or something that had been scratched up a little bit. Okay, I am going to press these. Okay. I have a piece of file folder here that I don't need just yet. I need my glue stick. And I'm just going around the back almost to the edge. I have found that the best way to use glue stick, two things that I have found, two positive things, is you don't have to have anything underneath if you go just a smidgen away from the edge. And then also, because of the very nature of glue stick, sometimes it don't press down that good, and if you have an air bubble, then that part's going to pop up. So, and the edges almost always are the places that you like iron the least. Like I said in a video, a tutorial I was doing a while back, the middle will always get done. It's your edges that you need to concentrate on if you're fusing two things together. So that's my bit of wisdom for today. Now, I guess I'll do that this way. So what I'm aiming for is to get at least one edge straight and roughly the distance away from the edge of the paper that I want it to be. That's the goal. And hopefully I'm sort of kind of in shot. So I'm just... Is it just me, or does this file folder look more yellow than some of the others? Okay. Alright. Now, I probably should have done this part already, but I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to be brave and go ahead and cut this like that, because I'm going to put the other one beside it if possible. Alright, now I'm pressing this so I can trim it. Okay, so I want everything to be roughly this far apart. So to do that, I have a little line under here. Oops, don't cut it yet. I have a line under here where this is textured and this is not, and that's kind of what I'm using to go by to get my distance, so that it's somewhat looks pretty decent. Okay, now this one is this way up and down. I don't know about you, but I just love the look of the outside framing it like that with the same shape. I just love how that looks. Okay, let's set that one aside for a second and let's work on this one. Okay. I did change my battery. It was letting me know that I had seconds remaining. So, I was about to say something, but I don't remember what it was. Oh, I remember now. I was going to say thank you to everyone who's already went to the community page and made a vote and made a comment, or, you know, let me know what it is that you'd like to see in the future. When I started doing projects back in August, I had no idea what I was doing, as far as, I had, I think, maybe 20, I know it was more than 20 and less than 30, but, or thereabouts, videos that I'd done, like 2, 3, 4 years ago, but I hadn't really given my YouTube, you know, hadn't taken it seriously. So, like I said in the last video last night, or yesterday, whenever it was, I'm losing track of my days. I've done 109 videos since about the middle of August, and 77, 73, 77, one of those are all projects as opposed to other types of videos. So I'm a little bit blown away by all of the support and positiveness and all that, but I also found that I was kind of getting stuck in a rut, and all the things that I want to do are much bigger than doing projects like this. So that's one of the things I want to incorporate in my scheduling going forward. So that's a little bit more explanation that you probably didn't need. Okay, cutter. So, and then the other thing, like I was saying also, my mother has cleaned houses for the community. It's the next county over, but it's only like 20 minutes from where my parents live. I grew up very close to the county line. I know there's a country song in there somewhere. And then, but like I was saying, my mom and dad have finally decided to slow down. They've had a Christmas tree farm since the late 70s, and this year they finally decided that they were going to not do it anymore. Finally, my dad will be, like I said, 83. Let me double check this that I'm not messing up. My dad will be 83 next month. In fact, a month from yesterday. And then in May, my mother will be 76. And they've done nothing but work their whole life. And there's things that they want to do. My dad, there was 5 kids, and in the last 3 years, he has lost his only brother and 2 of his sisters, so there's only him and his younger sister left. And I know that my dad's mortality is weighing upon him, not in a fearful way, because he's not fearful in that sense. In fact, my dad's not afraid of anything. But more in the, I'd like to spend my last days doing something besides working. I'd like to do something that I like to do, as opposed to something that I have to do. And they're financially stable and have been for a long time. But they both grew up poor. My mother lost her mother when she was 16 on the day she was supposed to start high school. My mother comes out of a huge family. There was 13 kids. And my mother was the 4th child, but she was the oldest daughter, so she got the responsibility of raising the little ones and not getting to finish high school until her and Daddy got married a couple of years later. And so, yeah, when I was born, my mama had turned 18 in May, and then I was born in July. So, I think it's about time for them to experience life on a different level than they grew up with and have come to know. So I want to make that possible as much as I can. Because I'd like for my kids to do the same thing for me if I had something that I wanted to do my whole life and didn't get to, just because I'm trying to make ends meet. So that's enough of that emotional stuff. And I forgot to ink the back of this one. But it's still warm from the iron, so it'll probably dry very quickly. Just need enough on it just so that it looks like it's got an edge. Alright, now, where's my little pieces? The one thing about it is you can tell by the shape of the card which one it goes with, so that's not bad. And I need to get my little safety pin over here. There we go. What I like about the tea bag, even though it's doubled, you can still see through it really well. So it's almost like a tinted glassine as far as the translucency of it. Alright, we got 2 more of these. Let me get my drawer over here and find another safety pin that's not bent all to pieces. If possible. Well, I guess all I have is some more of those little bitty ones. Sometimes things jump over, so I'm gonna, or underneath, because these little things just come right out. I guess that's it. Alrighty. Now the trick, there is a trick of getting this through that hole, because I didn't want to put the pin through the little piece of seam binding. Ha! I don't believe it. So what I did is I just put my ends together, found the middle, tied it in a semi-loose knot. Not that loose though. I wanted it tight enough so that it didn't come undone, but also loose enough that when I pull it down a little bit, it kind of stays there. And I'm going to put this one on this piece because it's a little bitty pin, and this is a more open weave. And so and hope that it cooperates. Well, now my fingernail's in the way. My goodness. Did you see that? It went all the way around. Alright. One of these days. Alright. Okay, so there is that one. This one is a little bit bent. And I don't know if that improved it a whole lot. Alright, let's try the same trick again. Getting this little bitty end through that hole. Oh, not like that. Alright. I just think it looks better through the hole, through the middle, than it does if I put the pin through it. This is like an unruly child when you're trying to brush their hair and they won't stay still. I had one of those. You know what's funny is, this was my younger daughter whose hair was so curly, just like her mama's. When she was little, I had to keep a conditioner in a spray bottle mixed with water to brush it out every day, because otherwise it looked like a rat's nest. And so this past weekend, I was up and visited her, and my little granddaughter, who looks just like my daughter Jamie, she looks just like her. Well, let me rephrase that. She looks like me. She acts like her. My daughter Jamie looks like my sister. And we don't really look anything alike. I look like my daddy, and she looks like our mama. And let me rephrase that. That just come out all wrong. I look like our daddy, and she looks like our mama. Anyway, Kimber looks just like me, especially when she gets up out of the bed of the morning. Obviously, we sleep the same way because our hair is all messed up the same way. I probably should have put that on that side, hadn't I? Yes, I should have. I'm going to change it. But her hair's starting to get a little long. She just turned 3 in January. So she let me brush her hair without any conditioner stuff added or anything like that. And I'm like, well, you're not as much like your mom as I thought, because she'd have been jumping up and down and screaming bloody murder by this time when she was your age. But anyway, now I'm going to move this one if I can, after I spent all that time wrestling with it. I think I want it to go right up through here. But anyway, I had a really good time with my grandkids this visit. It was really nice. They were so well behaved. Camden is 5. He just turned 5 10 days ago. Well, 11 days ago. Earlier this month. And then Kimber's 3, and Cadence was a year old back in November. Camden is adopted, and he was going through a spell back at the end of last year where he was very jealous of his sisters and did a whole lot of back talking and a whole lot of complaining and a whole lot of whining, and I don't know what's happened, because this was my first visit back after November. But he was like a changed little boy. It's like, so, alright. I am going to clean off my thing here. I could just do it like this and be fine. So, there's the ones we've just done. Let me move them this way. That way they're opposite one another with the little pins. And this way, I'm missing one. Oh, here it is. I'll put that way and that way. Alright. So there we go. We're gracious, poetic, positive, meaningful, tranquil, and motivated. We're going to put a D on the end of that. Alright. Thank you all very much for watching, and I will see you with another project very soon.